I want to thank Bob and Emmett for asking me to do this. Emmett's been trying to get me to do this for a few years at least. And it's always been, I don't know what I can tell you all. You all have been actively collecting longer than I have. And so it's like, okay. And he says, well, just bring some of your glass and talk about it and that'll be fine. I said, I can do that. So in trying to come up with what to talk about this year, I remember seeing a seminar done, I can't remember where, it's probably the Bookers, did like an A to Z, just brought out a pattern, letter A, this is the, and I thought that was kind of neat, but I kind of did a little twist. I've been lucky this year to attend some great auctions and buy some great glass, and so I just figured maybe I would pick the rarest thing for each letter that I had and try to tell you a little bit about it. Well, I started collecting really with pattern glass, and because of my mom. My mom loves strawberries and strawberry patterns, and so I was collecting strawberry pattern glass for her. So that's Northwood strawberry or strawberry and cable, inverted strawberry. There's a Burden strawberry pattern, Indiana glass. There are a lot of pattern glass strawberries. And that kind of took me into Carnival glass. And the first piece that I bought for myself was a Northwood strawberry plate. Paid an arm and a leg for it. And then they aren't worth very much nowadays. But anyway, I think you will agree that there have been some extraordinary auctions and some extraordinary glass that's come out and been up for sale this past year. And like I said, I've just been lucky to get a few pieces. We'll start with letter A. And for letter A up here, this is probably my ultimate piece of strawberry. And it was listed as absentee dragon and strawberry. It's the dragon and strawberry pattern by Fenton, but this one, of course, is missing the dragons. So there's supposed to be, right on time, look at you. There's supposed to be a couple of these known, is that right? There's at least one other perfect one, maybe another one that after that has some damage to it. But this is an extraordinary plate. It's got wonderful color to it. And like I said, the first time I saw it in a book, I was going, oh, there's my piece. But I never thought that I would ever be able to own one. It's pretty incredible. The other letter A that's up here is another absentee pattern. This one's lotus and grape. And this one's missing the grapes. So in the panels that are missing the grapes, there's enamel flowers. There's supposed to be a couple of these known, and I know there's at least one that's an absentee pattern that doesn't have the enameling. I think that sold at a Burns auction this past year. Yeah, very neat piece. Okay. B is for big. Big butterfly. These two tumblers came out of the cane auction at Air Capital. And again, they're not many they're only known in green and in marigold. I think there's only supposed to be 2 known in the marigold and a handful of the green ones made by U.S. Glass. From what I understand, the picture surfaced about 5 years ago, I guess. in marigold. If I remember right, it was cracked. Is that right? You don't? U.S. glass. I remember seeing the catalog picture. It's in a Heacock book. So, but big butterfly, and then this is Big Fish, Millersburg, and only known marigold rose bowl, and it is the best thing about it is it's got fantastic color. Not only is it just a rare shape, but it's got great color on it. Yes. Yeah, people sometimes complain about color on the fish. Well, this one's got, it's kind of hard to see unless the light's catching it, but it's got great color on the fish. Like I said, I tried to pick, the rare things that I have. So some of these things will be rare patterns. Some of them will be rare shapes in a pattern. Some of them may be rare colors in a pattern. For letter C, let's see, I brought a cone and tie tumbler. And yeah, that's right. This one's pretty spectacular. No known picture for it. They're only known in purple. Just a rare tumbler. Let's see, D, diamond lace. You see this tumbler all the time, but you see it in amethyst. You see it in purple. There aren't very many marigold ones known. I got this one this year. Again, a lot of you are probably going, I went to your house. I went to that open house. I don't remember any of this glass. I think I counted before I got up here. About 75% of the glass up here wasn't in my house when we did the open house in June.
Okay, we're coming back.
We know how to get there, David.
So, yeah. To say I had an extraordinary year would be quite an understatement.
You retired and just went berserk.
I retired and lost my mind, yeah. Another D piece is this one. What do we got here? Daisy and drape, is that right? Daisy and plume, thank you. I'm not going on my own patterns, but back pattern, right? But I think most of you would probably go with the front pattern, the berry pattern. And then again, only 2, 3 known in blue, if I remember what I read. And it's pretty spectacular. I went for the color on it. The vase up here is a Fenton vase, known as Dancing Ladies. I think carnival collectors sometimes call it Dance of the Veils. The pattern's known in the vases. The vases can be either the ruffled or they can be a smooth top. You can also see console bowls, which would be oval bowls. Again, sometimes you see them listed as Dancing Ladies or Dance of the Veils, but I think it's all known as Dancing Ladies as far as a Fenton pattern goes. And these are known in marigold, and I think if I remember right, one surfaced last year in Persian pearl, which is a stretch glass color, kind of a stretchy white iridescence on clear glass. And if I remember right, Russ Umbraco is the one that got that piece, but it came up at a Burns auction last year or a year before. Up until then, the only thing I knew about were the marigold examples, and there aren't very many marigold examples. Please stop me anytime you want to ask questions. Let's see, letter E. E is for, let's see, I brought an emu bowl, and this one, Australian, but this one is the aqua-based glass. So I'm going to try to do it this way. I know that from being out there in the audience, sometimes it's harder to see the color if I just hold it up to the light. But as you can see, it's on an aqua-based glass. Most of the Australian glass you're going to see is either marigold or the dark amethyst, whatever you want to call it. But it's a dark purple color. This one being aqua.
Is that rare, David?
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
So you didn't say one or two, you just said.
Yeah, it's rare in that color. Rare in that color. Other E that I have up here is embroidered mums, and this one's in lime green opal. Is the light working? And this one, and Gary Lickford pointed out this to me. You know, the glass looks like it's got cotton in it. It's very.
It's almost like moonstone-ishy.
Yeah, looks like it's got a texture to it. It's not a real thin translucent.
Whenever you see that color, it's always like that. It almost looks like somebody ground up cotton to just teeny little spots, and it's all through there. If you look at the surface of the glass, you'll see it coming through where the surface is almost like pot moss.
But very rare in this color. And this one came from the Ingle auction. A lot of this glass came from Ingle or Fry or Tarkington, or let me put this in there. You know, you're right. I should do it that way. I should write it on the back. Or
What was the back panel?
oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. All right. Letter F. F. I've got a fruit basket, Millersburg fruit basket. Rare pattern for Millersburg. And this one evidently came out of the Fenton Museum. It's got the inventory marking on the bottom of it.
What's the pattern?
Fruit basket?
I've never seen
Well,
it.
no, either.
You know, my collecting again started with strawberries and kind of branched out from there, and I started doing peacocks and then rose show and poppy show, and I like vases, I like enameling. And then this year came up and it became, oh, I've never seen that pattern before. I've never seen that pattern before. And my collecting kind of took a right turn. And so I started trying to pick up some of the patterns that I'd never seen before. Anyway, this was fruit basket. This one, the next one up here is Four Pillars, is that right? Four Pillars, Northwood. That one's from the Ingle auction as well. It was advertised as marigold on moonstone, but it's actually marigold on custard.
Wow.
One of the things, I don't know whether you know about this or not, but you know we know that Vaseline glass fluoresces. Well, custard fluoresces.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, if you want to know whether it's moonstone or custard, get a black light on it. Kind of neat. All right, where am I? Let's see. G. I've got some rare colors. Good Luck Plate in ice green. You know, there's supposed to be a handful of them known. There was one in the Miller auction earlier last year, and then there was one in the Ingle auction, and then there was one in the Fry auction or the Tarkington auction. So there's 3 of them right there. And I bought this one from Gary Lickford, so there's 4. You know, one of the other reasons I started picking this up, you know, is that, I mean, I have this feeling that when else are you going to see it again? I'd never seen it before. And then here it all comes out in these major collections, and I have a feeling it's going to all kind of quietly stay in collections, and you're not going to see it out for sale.
Well, you're going to sell your stuff.
Someday.
Being a private collector.
And you're pretty young, man.
That could be dangerous. The 2 Greek key bowls up on the top both came from the Ingle auction. What white and ice blue. There's supposed to be a couple of each known. Again, known. I'm sure that there are more out there, but those are only a couple of them known. Let's see. H, hearts and flowers. So marigold on, yep, custard. Marigold on custard, not many of these known. And then marigold on smoke I got from the Tarkington auction. And there are only supposed to be a couple of these out there. One?
Oh, I sold that one 3 times. And
That's why there's two listings for it.
I think Vern sold it one time before that,
That's
but it's always been that one.
Wow.
There you go.
That's the one that sold over there.
Huh. I want to know. So you got one of a kind there.
Don't you love it? All right, another H, honeycomb and hobstar. Millersburg vase, not many of these known. Handful maybe, I guess. This one's amethyst, very pretty. Was in the Millersburg auction this year that had some of Karen's glass in it. Just a really pretty pattern. Now, being the pattern glass collector that I am, I know this pattern is Gloria. It was made by the Ohio Flint Glass Company in a whole lot of different shapes. Table sets, and I collected it and had quite a bit of it in ruby stain pattern glass. When Ohio Flint Glass went out of business, evidently the molds were sold to Jefferson Glass Company and then to John Fenton of Millersburg. So that's why this is considered Millersburg. And I believe that there's some Butler Brothers ads that show it along with some other Millersburg pieces, so they got a better attribution of it. Idol. This vase here. Everybody's going, what is that? So it's I think Doty says that it's really water lily and cattails, but you can look it up. It's known as Idol, Idyll. You see it this way, sometimes flared. I think there's a purple ruffled one known. Again, it has some damage to it, but this one has this pattern on the vase has the addition of a butterfly to it. I don't think the water lily and cattail has a butterfly. Anyway, quite rare.
Where'd you get that?
I will go look it up. Again, I got so many things this year, it's hard to kind of straighten out the auctions. It came from the Fry auction. Yeah. I should be asking Jim, except he has more auctions that he goes to than I do, that he does. All right, other I that's up here, I have to have strawberry, right? Inverted strawberry. I brought milk pitcher. So that's not the water pitcher, that's the milk pitcher. So the smaller, and there are not very many milk pitchers out there. And then I brought this little breakfast set, little breakfast creamer and open sugar. It's Cambridge glass. It's fairly prolific in the amount of things that they did in it. I mean, they did table sets and they did water sets and they did multitude of bowls and rose bowls and spittoons and powder jars and candlesticks and compotes and yet what do you see in it typically? A little 7-inch green round bowl, if you see it at all, typically. I can remember going to Ruth Phillips's auction about 5 or 6 years ago at an ICGA, and I went there specifically. This is my first ICGA, specifically because she had so much strawberry. It's the most inverted strawberry that I'd ever seen. And curiously, I think maybe the breakfast set is from there. The The milk pitcher, I think, was from a different auction, if I remember right. And I picked up from the Phillips auction, I got 2 water sets and 2 table sets, and it's like I say, it's not. It's just a pattern you typically don't see, and I don't know why, because there's so much of it out there. J, huh? What have I got up here for J? Oh, jeweled heart. So you typically, I mean, you would notice this pattern as a back pattern. I mean, you see it on farmyard bowls and smooth rays and cherries, but here it is on a standalone piece. It's known in water sets, if I remember right. It's about it, right? Have you ever seen it on I'm asking Jim, have you ever seen it on like a bowl where it'd be a plain interior? I think I've only seen pictures of it with a rayed interior where you would call it smooth rays or something. Anyway, pretty color. And K, let's see. K, I brought 2 pieces of Australian. The float bowl up here at the top is Kookaburra. Float bowls are fairly rare. I think there's this the one that there's a marigold one in the auction, and nobody's seen one before. Yeah, so it should do pretty well, I would imagine. The little sauce is a kiwi sauce, and from what I understand on kiwi, it was a pattern that was made, again, in Australia, but evidently New Zealand asked them to quit making it. This is the story that I read. I just read it in the newsletter online last week. New Zealand asked them to quit making it because the kiwi is associated with New Zealand. And so they evidently stopped making it. And from what David Ayers said, they tried to not let them, out into the public, not sell them even. But they turn up now and again. But it's a rare piece of Australian. All right, L. I'm trying to get through this because I want to make sure I don't keep you past. L is for little. So I've got 2 bowls up here at the top. They're little daisy pattern, Fenton Little Daisy. The marigold one is from the Fry auction. The blue one's from the Ingle auction. And again, it's just a pattern that I'd never seen before except in a book. And they're pretty phenomenal glass. The 2 bowls below are little stars. And they're both in blue, if you can see that. Again, not many of them known in either of these 2 sizes. 7-inch or the little sauce. All right. M, huh? What did I bring for M? Multi-fruits and flowers. Another Millersburg pattern. Very hard to find. They're very pretty. I have 2 of the tumblers. Let's see, the other M that's up here is the Memphis, the fruit bowl up there. It's blue. There's only supposed to be a couple of 2 or 3 of those known. I didn't put it on top. It fits on top. I just didn't feel like it wobbling. And I would have to have it a little bit more forward in order to get it to sit there. Yeah, and not only is, again, on some of these, not only is that a rare color, but it's pretty too. Kind of nice when the 2 go together. All right, N. All right, N, we have a Nippon. This is from Karen Ingle's auction, and it's that same lime green opal. I hate these flashlights. The ones that have 3 settings, you have to click it so many times. But if you notice, it's got that same kind of cotton look in the glass. Almost opaque looking. Pretty neat.
You suppose that could be powder?
it's not powder. It's not an opal or any. I mean, I guess it could be some of the opal from the edge, but it just, to me, and you can see it looks like dirty. It's just the way when they made this with that lime green and the opal on the edges. That's the way that the base glass turned out. Yeah. The other end pattern that I have up here is, I have two of them, don't I? This one is Northwood's Near Cut. And you typically see it, or you only see it in water sets. So either the goblets or the tumblers or the pitcher. Not many pitchers, not many tumblers. Oh, probably the goblet's the easiest thing to find. Only known in marigold and amethyst. I love the pattern. I think it's pretty neat. Let's see, the bonbon is Night Star, is that right? Millersburg pattern. And this one is you'll see it shaped this way a lot, and you'll also, it's green, but it's an odd color green. It's kind of an olive green. Let's see if I can get that color up there. You can see it's a lot darker green.
That is weird.
Mm-hmm.
They doesn't come in a single handle nappy also.
What now?
The Night Star. Doesn't come in single handle nappies.
Yes. Isn't that right? Single handle? Yes, I think I've seen that too. You're right. It'd be way more rare. Yeah. All right. O would be orange tree. And, it's not a peach opal or an aqua opal or a yellow, but it's an amethyst colored plate, but it's just so pretty. And this is from the Ingle auction.
Is that rare in amethyst?
Pretty rare. Like I said, it's not the rarest color you can find, but it's still pretty rare.
Fabulous one for that color.
Yes.
That used to be down the paintings.
Oh.
All right, P. Which one? Persian Garden?
Bring it down.
Is that purple?
I was just gonna say kale.
Yeah, it's purple, right?
Name on the back. Do not sell it to kale.
My name on the front.
Name on the back. I don't see a name on the back. And to answer your question from before, it's got a completely flat bottom. I was questioning Gary in his room because he's got a fruit bowl. I go, okay, so I know that my bowl's about the same size. Why isn't it a fruit bowl? But the fruit bowls have it sits in, right? It's got more of an insert here where you can set the base on. So, piece of Dugan.
Oh, yeah.
Only, it's emerald green, I guess is what you would call it. This is the only piece of
I think I told you to.
emerald green in this
Out
pattern.
of your cabinet when I went to see it, didn't I?
Huh?
Did you have it before this year?
No.
No.
This is now?
Mhm.
Well, that must have been too many other pieces. He
Yeah.
didn't have it.
I didn't have it yet. This is one of the 75% from this last year.
My God.
Yeah, this is pretty spectacular.
An angle piece?
This is a Werner piece, right?
Wow.
Yes.
Used to be Ruth Eve.
Eves, right? Supposedly came out of Australia, if I remember right.
Put the light on that thing, David, from the front, you can't see.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, that's better.
Beautiful.
Emmett, don't you ever
Unbelievable.
look at auctions?
Huh?
I said, Emmett, doesn't he ever look at auctions?
That's right.
What?
I can't believe that Dorothy didn't buy this.
She's. You're retired, Dorothy.
The other piece Okay, the other letter P that I have is pond lily.
Yeah, fine.
This was in my house when everybody came through. Do you remember seeing it though?
No, don't.
It had 30 pieces of glass in front of it. More.
Well, and I think this is funny because she saw it? She noticed it. There you go. And Jim and Jan came by the house this summer and looked at I invited them to come by and look at glass, and they looked through it. And Jim and I were talking about Celeste blue, and we ended up talking about a Celeste blue pond lily bonbon, and I went, oh yeah, I think I have something like that over there. Because I think there's only 2 Celeste blue known. This one is aqua opal. The color's not listed in Doty's. So there's at least one known.
Yeah.
At least to you all it's known. And as soon as someone publishes something, it's known.
Tell them the best part about that one.
Oh, well, I bought this one. I didn't buy this one at auction, obviously, because everybody would have known about it. I bought this in Southeast Texas at an antique mall.
Oh my goodness.
Nice, huh?
That's
Yeah.
a find.
It was a find. And about let's see, about 20 years ago, it was one of the first pieces that
Really?
one of the first pieces that I bought back.
$15.
Pretty neat piece. Pretty neat piece.
That is. Well, one of my places.
All right. Q. Let's see, the only Q that I have is, I have some quill tumblers up here. Yeah, but, you know. So, fairly rare tumbler. Dugan, right? No? Quill is Dugan? Oh, look, I look at the person that always knows everything, and he tells me no.
Ask Kale about it.
Ask Kale. Kale Dugan, right? Thank you. R, I've got, let's see, what have I got here? Rose tree. This one is gorgeous, and this is blue, and this one I think is from the Fry auction, if I remember right. It's a really pretty piece of glass, and again, a pattern you don't see very often. Rose tree. Got an orange tree back on it.
But look how pretty the back is.
Yeah, oh yeah, the back's gorgeous too. It's not opal, just solid blue. Yeah. Rose column. So this one's from the Poucher auction, originally in the Whitley collection, and it's Millersburg. It doesn't have fantastic iridescence on it, but this is the one that has the painted roses. So we've got red down one side and then green down the next column.
Oh.
You can kind of see it with the light in the back.
Oh, sure. Down.
Yep. And I love strange things like this. I mean, I'm sorry, but I like interesting colors and enamelings. And so, yeah, I felt really lucky to be able to get this.
Now, was it painted on the inside? No. On the outside?
Should be on the outside and then iridized over, yeah.
Okay.
The roses. Okay.
And obviously done factory because, I mean, it's iridized over top of it.
Yeah. Oh, is it really? You have to see. Yeah, I have to see it.
All right. I got another R. This one's from the Engel auction. Rustic, right?
You did drive up there, didn't you?
Yeah. My first time to Ohio. And if you can't tell, it's supposed to be the only Vaseline one known, but I bet there are more out there. You start looking. But yeah, what a nice piece of glass. All right, S. Well, S is for strawberry. I'm sorry. As is for strawberries, so I brought some bowls. I brought the aqua opal one is from the Poucher auction, and then the ice blue and the white one are from Bud Martin's Hoga auction a couple of years ago. The white one is the kale bowl. It's the one that Kale loves. What now? Why don't you talk about it, since you've now made me paranoid about it? Kale noticed that it has got an extremely large base on it, quite an indentation. It almost looks like it ought to be a fruit bowl, like it ought to have a base to it. It is heavy. It has a basket weave back on it. And it's got amazing color.
Oh, yeah, I can see.
Remember, the back's iridized as well.
It used to be Woody Funks.
Oh, how do you remember all that
So
stuff?
I went to
I don't know, but I'm glad he does.
Oh,
Add that to your notes.
and I knew I wasn't going to be.
Does that one have a piece of paper on it now? Oh, strawberry. Strawberry wreath. Nice round compote. This one's got a sticker on the bottom that says Wilson. Supposedly, I guess only one known, right? And it would do this too.
oh, here we go.
So, and the other thing that makes it rare, not only is it a compote in Vaseline, but it has the blank leaf. So some of these have a leaf where you just have the outline, but they don't actually put in the inside. Let's see, we're up here at 12 o'clock. Good, that's not me. I thought I turned mine off. Anyway, just a phenomenal piece. All right. T. Okay, T for, we'll go for tree trunk. Mid-size vases. One in aqua opal. It's from the Poucher auction. And then the other one is marigold on moonstone, and it's from Karen Ingles' auction. See the bottom? But it is gorgeous.
It is.
Again,
You have one of those too?
I don't know.
Jackie Coucher have one?
I don't know. Anybody know? You know how many of these there are? Couple?
Gave that vase to Tom Ordini to sell, and he sold it to Karen.
Okay.
There.
Here we go.
Here we go again with the
The history.
multiple listings of the same vase. Yeah. Very good.
That's right.
Other piece here is two fruits or plums and cherries, but for my alphabet, it's going to be two fruits. Letter T. Northwood pattern. Only like a handful of pieces. Only a handful of pieces known.
What is it?
It's blue, two fruits. It's this, the shape. It's a sugar base. I'm going to say it's a sugar base because there's a spot here for a lid. If you look on Doty, you'll see a spooner listed. I would imagine it's this piece right here. Yes, it's got gorgeous color. I believe somebody said this was from the Leonard collection. It's Northwood. Yeah, exactly. I'm the same. I was like, never seen that piece before. That pattern, it's got the standard 3 cherry on one side, but then the back side has the plums. So
Paul had a tumbler in that, and then it sold to the Whitleys, I believe. And where to go from there, I don't know.
I think it's in Bob's collection.
yeah, only known in tumblers and the sugar base or spooner. Yeah.
It's the original binder on that tumbler. Wow.
All right, you. Well, for you, I'm gonna. Yeah. Sort of. You're gonna see this listed as U.S. Sheraton, pattern Sheraton, U.S. glasses, Sheraton pattern. They call it U.S. Sheraton because there are other Sheraton patterns out there. But it's basically got a Greek key border on it. And I've seen several pieces like this. Neat piece though, very neat.
And the shape you told us earlier is?
Let's hear this called a trophy vase is what I've heard it called before.
Goes with your collection.
It definitely does. Goes with my collection, all the interesting patterns, and yeah, we're getting down to more of those interesting patterns. Let's see, V. Back into my pattern glass again, right? All right, so this piece, the pattern is called, well, let's see, you'll see it listed as banded Portland. If you, in this little powder jar or puff box, whatever, really pretty. Yeah. Yesterday's was European too, so I don't know whether that makes a difference or not. But if you'll notice, this has this kind of a stippled band that runs around it. Okay, so there's a pattern in pattern glass called Portland. It's the exact same pattern that I'm holding, except it doesn't have this stippled band. So Portland doesn't have the band. Banded Portland has the band. And banded Portland is more commonly known in pattern glass collecting as Virginia. So this is my letter V. Virginia, and it's a part of the U.S. Glass had a state series. So they had almost all the states. You know, they had a pattern for Alabama and one for Texas, Louisiana. I mean, this is what they used for Virginia.
It almost looks yellow from here.
I know, it's got such neat. Well, I'm going to go looking for it. Okay, here we go. We're going to see.
It doesn't look yellow.
No, it's clear there, but it has, you're right, it has a lot of yellow iridescence on it. No kale.
What state was that one then? What state was that one then?
Virginia. Virginia. All right. W. Making sure I go alphabetically here. All right, so if I can get this off of here. Water lily? Well, O-red. Except it's not really O-red, because it's red shading to yellow. So it's reverse amberina, but it has opal feet, yes, and an opal rim. So it's reverse amberina opal. Pretty rare color. Yeah. Neat piece. All right. X. Nobody usually gets this far. Okay, so this is a piece by Riverside Glass Company, made 1896, 1897, something like that. It's got a marigold flashing to it. The pattern's called X-ray.
Really?
Yes. Although you will see it in the Hoga books, I think named Radiance, if I remember right. But the original pattern name is X-ray. And I've seen this kind of decoration on other pieces of pattern glass. So there had to have been a decorating firm out there that was doing this in that same time period, late 1890s, somewhere in there. I've seen a piece of Duncan block band that has the same kind of, has a marigold flashing and it has enameled flowers on it. I have a little toothpick in this as well. This is the spooner. But just kind of neat. Again, that kind of ties my pattern glass into my carnival glass. All right. X-ray, Riverside Glass Company. Part of the National Glass conglomeration. All right. I'm missing a Y and a Z. So I brought 2 proxy pieces for Y and Z. Yeah. I didn't get these at auction. I had to buy them privately. So one of them is a Millersburg peacock spittoon.
Oh my God.
Only one known.
Only one known in this color. There's evidently a marigold one as well. And it's spectacular color.
Is there a Vaseline one?
The other one's marigold. I think, that's right, yeah. You're thinking of the Peacock Rose Bowl, I think. There's a Rose Bowl, I think, that's Vaseline.
Do we know what
Yep.
that is?
That is neat.
What now?
You know where it came from, Dave?
This? I don't know where somebody want to do history?
I'm just curious where it was, because there's so very few.
Here we go. Where did it come from?
I want to say Vining Mordini, right? And then the Mordini's just a beast. Was it Bob Vining?
Bob Vining first.
Right, and then Mordini, and then it sat in my house for 15 or 20 years, and then we sold it to Stacy Wills. And it went back to Texas after Stacy privately, right?
I think so. Mabel, yeah.
Stacy had it and it sold, and I guess
Yep.
Carol Cox bought it. And then
It is spectacular.
Cook.
Carol Cook.
Carol Cook, yeah.
And,
Well, it's.
Texas.
How did you get it then?
and Mordini
Tom Mordini sold it to me.
last year. And we were entering buying some glass, and he said, what do you got here? Just take a look at it. That's a good substitute. He pulled this out. And I said, good proxy. I got a friend here.
Is that a good proxy?
Good proxy.
I hate sitting it like that, but it may stay. All right, last proxy.
It may stay.
Just put it on the foot. There you go.
I'm sorry. Okay, so the last piece that I have, I started with my ultimate piece of strawberry. I guess I get to end with kind of my ultimate piece. Another piece that I got to buy privately.
Oh, there it is.
And this one's green. Only one that's known in green.
Came back to Houston.
Yeah. Yeah, it has this sticker on the bottom that says Whitley, but I don't know.
Your fingerprints?
All right. That's all that I got. Thank you.